Hey guys, welcome to A Little Bit of Monica. We are going into week 3 of May, which is week 3 of Escape the Readathon, and whew, the pressure is on for the second half of the month here, but I am so excited for all the fun that we are having. This week's vlog theme is going to be NetGalley arcs and or new releases that I wanted to read right away. In my TBR for the month, I included a new segment where I am going to be focusing on the arcs that are releasing in that month. That way I can make sure that I am keeping up with everything and not getting too far behind, because I already am behind. And I have some backlist books listed as well. So this is just a way for me to stay on track of things. And since it is halfway through the month and I have already fallen behind on some of these arcs, I am going to dedicate this next week to reading the arcs and or new releases. The first book that I'm going to be reading, and the one that I am already reading, is My Heart Still Beats by Helen Hart. This was from Entangled Publishing, and this is a, I believe, dark romance. Sounds like it's going to have some very, very dark and traumatic scenes, but I am really excited to read it because the synopsis sounds really good. It's about the best man and the maid of honor for a wedding, and they are planning the bachelor and bachelorette parties on a Jamaica weekend trip, and things are gonna unravel from there. Already, I am very, very early on in the book. I only made it through like 2 chapters last week, and it's a lot, okay? But so far, I am already intrigued by the characters. I can't say that I like them per se, but I'm intrigued with where this is going to go. And yeah, a lot of the like warnings going into this one make me a little bit nervous, but also very excited for what could come from this. So that's the first book that I'm focusing on. And while I haven't started it yet, the other book that I plan to be starting either today or tomorrow, not sure yet, but this is going to be kind of in between. I think I'm going to be able to bounce back and forth between the two, is a brand new release that just came out within the last 2 weeks, and that is Five Broken Blades by Mike Corland. This is a fantasy romance. I don't actually know anything about the description or the synopsis. I don't know what this book is about. Go figure, but it's really pretty because this is the special first edition with the sprayed edges. It's a beautiful book, and I cannot wait to jump into this. I am also participating in a buddy read along with Mel from Melanor Reads and her Patreon. So that's a lot of fun because it means I get to read it and talk about it. I think pretty much everyone is trying to read it this week, so I definitely want to launch into this. I really hope I like it enough to keep it because this copy is super, super pretty, but we shall see. Let the best liar win. The book says it all. So that is kind of my plan here for the next day or two. So with all of that said, just jump right into reading. I will keep you updated once I've made progress in some of my books, and or if something exciting happens and I need to fill you in on it. So until then, let's get started. In typical Monica fashion, I'm not actually jumping into reading first. Something that I have been meaning to get to for the last couple days is updating my reading journal for March. No, I think I updated it for March, but I did not do April, I think. So I need to catch up from April because I am doing it on like a monthly basis. I'm trying to track some of my stats here, and it's kind of hard to track my stats if I don't keep up with them. Primarily, the stats that I'm really focused on is I am tracking my genres that I read by just drawing some little boxes every time I read a book in one of these genres. And then I'm also tracking my reading format to see what my most common reading format is. And so I have these color coded. And because of this, I do have to go book by book that I read, which is great using Goodreads or Storygraph. I utilize both, and they are very, very helpful in helping me remember which books I've read because I go all the way back to the beginning of the month. And then I also have my 5-star read tracker, which is this cute little bookshelf. And as I read 5-star books, I am filling these in as well. But I'm also doing this on a monthly basis just so I remember which ones I have or haven't done. And I have Boys in the Valley on here, which was the end of March / beginning of April. So I'm gonna guess that's where I left off, and I need to do all of April. And so I'll do, if they're 5 stars, I'll add them here, and then I will track the reading format and the genre. And then I do need to fill in some other spreads, but honestly, the stats are my most important thing right now. I don't think I've DNF'd anything lately, so my DNF graveyard can stay the way it is for now. I don't think I have anything to add, although I will find out once I go on here. And I haven't annotated anything lately. I do need to update my NetGalley tracker because I have this chart here to make sure that I am reading through all of my NetGalleys. And originally I started tracking all of the books that I've borrowed, like library books or Libby, or just like borrowed from other people, but I've really not kept up with this. So I don't know if this is gonna work or if I'm just gonna have to try to catch up. I don't know, because the books that are on here last are, I'm pretty sure, from February. I'm pretty far behind in here, but I'm gonna work on getting these stats updated, and then I will feel better about my reading progress and everything, because if this is updated at least partially, it'll be like a weight off my chest. So I'm gonna jump into that, and then I will read later. Here for a quick 38% update into My Heart Still Beats. This arc is going very well so far. I have really enjoyed the way that everything is kind of dealt with and talked about. I do feel like there's going to be some more, I would say more troubling descriptions of events that have happened, but I'm really enjoying the way that trauma and depression are portrayed here with our main character. Tessa had experienced sexual abuse and is now still recovering from that. And she was responsible for helping to plan her best friend's bachelorette trip, which it's a combined bachelorette trip. So like the guys and the girls are all at the same resort, but she was supposed to be planning all of the activities. And so her best friend's fiance's brother is the one that's planning the bachelor side, and they met up to go over details, and he found out what she was going through and offered to help plan a lot of the things. And so where I'm at now is they are on the bachelorette trip, and things are going pretty well so far, which makes me scared for what's gonna go wrong at some point. But so far this has been a really sweet type of story, getting to see how, especially Ben, our main male character, how he cares about Tessa and is very protective over her without being too overprotective or like aggressive about his protection, knowing her history. It's all been done very well so far, which I'm really happy for. Also, I just have to mention one of the scenes that have happened, because their trip is in Jamaica, and I went to Jamaica when I was in high school on a youth group trip, and one of the things we did was hike Dunn's River Falls, this like absolutely breathtaking waterfall. I am not a fan of water. Like, me and water just don't get along. I'm not a swimmer, anything like that. The waterfall made me very uncomfortable, but I still did it. I hiked it because I knew I would regret it if I didn't. And in the book, they hike Dunn's River Falls, which like it is a very touristy area. It is something that's like on the top of people's lists when they are going to that area in Jamaica. But it was just really cool being able to read that scene of this group hiking the falls and get kind of like reliving my own memory of doing that, because it is a really fond memory of mine. And yeah, it was just like kind of a fun scene that I didn't know was gonna happen, but also was very sweet. So far this book is going very well, and I am really excited to keep going. It also feels like it is moving along pretty quickly. So we are off to a good start. And I will come back later to update once I have read some more. I am going to keep going until Matt gets home from work, and then we can have dinner, and then I'll probably read after that, because this book is really good and I want to keep going. Quick update for today, because I haven't actually checked in, but I finished reading My Heart Still Beats by Helen Hart this morning, and I actually really liked this book. I think I'm giving it 4 stars. There were some elements that I didn't love, and I didn't think that was necessary to like finishing the story, but this book was really dark. So our main couple ends up getting involved in a lot of like criminal type of activity, where they are in contact or being threatened by some not so good people. Because each of them has a history, especially our main guy, he's got a bit of a history that he is keeping a secret. And honestly, the dynamic between them was really good through most of the book. I don't like that he insisted on keeping secrets so long. Like, they proclaimed their love to each other. They knew that they were in love with each other, and he still was keeping secrets, which I didn't like. I was not a fan of this. But the way everything ended up panning out, I'm okay with it. I feel like things came to a pretty decent close. There was a lot of political, and I want to say, like, the resolution for a lot of the crime stuff was less than satisfactory because in this book, rich people get away with a lot of stuff, and I don't like that because I hate that rich people can just pay their way out of things and not deal with consequences. And this book had that a lot, which I think is the main issue with why I rate it a little bit lower. I think it's more of a 3.5 to 4 because I hate when rich people just get whatever the heck they want. And this is just a personal taste. Like, obviously a lot of people really like books like this, and that's fine. But for me, it's like, no, we get enough of that in real life. I don't need rich people being able to pay their way out of crime. And yeah. But the relationship that they had, focusing on that because it's a romance, the relationship was beautiful. I really like the way that Ben cared so much for Tessa. Like, they took care of each other, and it was beautiful, and I really liked that. And it was shown in a lot of different ways. And so this book, I think it's still really good, and it definitely has a good audience. I think maybe I'm not the best audience for this style of a book, but I also really want to praise the representation of trauma and abuse that this book portrayed. I think it was respectful. I think it was careful with how it was being carried out. And even though there was some very descriptive scenes, I think this was done really well. And now I need to pick my next arc that I'm going to be reading. Or do I start with 5 Broken Blades, which isn't an arc, but it's a recent release. I think I'm going to do 5 Broken Blades first because I'm doing a buddy read with that. Happy Friday. I am finally wrapped up with the work day. It was a very long day, and I feel like I did more work than I usually do. Lots of phone calls, emails, managing things. One of the guys is out the last couple of days, and so like trying to cover for some of that, plus putting out fires, figuratively, thankfully. Finally done with the work day, and Matt is golfing with some friends tonight, which means I'm on my own for dinner. So I'm about to head out and go pick up some Panera because I love me some Panera. I got some soup and salad and a bakery item or two, and I'm very excited. I haven't had Panera in a couple weeks, and it's one of those places that Matt doesn't super love, so I typically only get it whenever he's not eating at home, like if he is visiting his family or something like that. So this is a little treat for me. I'm gonna go now. I haven't read anything today. 1, because I actually was doing more work than usual, and 2, I was playing a little bit of Stardew Valley in between doing work tasks, and 3, I was finishing editing and uploading my vlog from last week that is going up on Saturday. So I had to get that ready. So I haven't really done any reading yet today, but tonight I will be reading 5 Broken Blades. I'm only like 6 or 7 chapters in, which the chapters are super short, so that's like not very far. But I'm like still meeting the characters and getting to know them, so there's not a whole lot to report on this one yet. I'm still intrigued, but like I've heard that this has a bit of a slow start, so we're gonna see how this goes. But that'll be happening tonight once I get back with my dinner, and I'll probably watch Abbott Elementary or something while I eat. And then I'll jump into reading. So that's the update. I will check back in with you in a bit. I am not gonna lie, the clouds are like kind of creepy today. It's been very overcast all day long, and it's very breezy. It feels absolutely perfect, and it smells a little bit like rain. So I'm happy because this is like my favorite type of weather, but also the fact that I'm choosing now to leave the house. Yeah. Good timing on my part. However, I do have a package at the mailbox, so I'm excited to be able to get that. I also just realized that I forgot to bring the trash cans up, so now I have to do that first. So I just got back with my food and my packages, so before I eat, I just want to open these and show you what I got, because I got 2 pieces of book mail. The first one, I know what this is because I ordered it yesterday. Fly With Me by Andy Burke. I am going to a book festival tomorrow with this author there, and I have not read it, but it sounds really cute, and my sister gave this 5 stars. So Do I always have the same taste as her? No, but this gives me hope. So I went ahead and picked this book up so that I would have it for tomorrow. And the second package is a box. You know, Barnes & Noble really needs to do better. I can't. This book better be so worth the fight that I just had to get this out. Oh my god, it's worth it. It's worth it. Yeah, I was very confused when I got the email confirmation that this was being shipped out and delivered so early. I thought it was a joke. I literally thought it was a joke. Someone must be pranking me, right? This book doesn't come out for like 2 weeks, right? Right? Doesn't this come out in June? Barnes & Noble, what are you doing? I'm so confused. I am going to look up the release date because I'm fairly certain first edition June 2024. I got this a whole week and a half, almost 2 weeks early. I feel honored. Leather and Lark is the sequel to Butcher and Blackbird. If you do not know, Brynne Weaver wrote a masterpiece of Butcher and Blackbird. I was obsessed with it. Am still obsessed with it. But I am not kidding when I say after finishing reading Butcher and Blackbird, I thought about it daily for like a month and a half. 2 months? I still think about it on the regular. This is the sequel. It is about 2 different characters that are introduced in the first one. And so this takes place with that same like group of people, but a different pair. I am so excited for this. These books are dark romance. The first one was about serial killers. So this one, I have no idea what I'm about to get into, but it's about to be steamy and dark and beautiful. So yes, this is amazing. 2 new books, new book mail, and now I get to eat Panera. This is turning out to be a fantastic Friday, and I just don't even know what else could make this better, except maybe reading. I'm like looking at the book that I'm supposed to be reading right now. It's staring me down. So I'm gonna eat dinner and then I'm gonna read. Lexi and I are headed to the book fest, equipped. We have the book cart from Cassidy, right?
Yes.
So we're headed in and we're gonna have some fun today in the rain. Although hopefully the rain holds off. Here for just a very, very quick check-in. I am exhausted. It is 11:30. I am so tired, ready to go to bed. But I wanted to check in and just give a quick summary of the weekend because I didn't check in at all today. Yesterday was the book festival with Lexi. It was so much fun. Literally an exhausting day. Physically, I am so out of shape. My legs and my feet are feeling it. I did not have the best like walking footwear, but it was raining, so I was wearing rain boots, and anyway, my feet hurt, my legs hurt. I'm really, really tired. But today was also another long day. After I hung out with Lexi a bit this morning, I ended up driving home and meeting up with my parents for lunch. We went to a Chinese buffet that is one of my favorite places from my hometown, and it was delicious. It was amazing. And then I visited with my parents for the rest of the day, and I was literally there for the rest of the day. We were just talking about a bunch of random stuff, Criminal Minds, because my parents are as big of fans of the show as I am, and it was kind of nice to just get to nerd out a little bit with them. But yeah, we talked about a little bit of everything, movies, books, like just everything, and it was a really fun day, but ultimately time got away from us, and I am so tired now that I'm home. I literally just got home, and I didn't even really unpack any of my stuff. I am about to go collapse into my bed because I still have to wake up for work tomorrow. and I feel like I am severely lacking on sleep. Honestly, did not read a lot this weekend. I listened to an audiobook on the way down to visit with Lexi. It was an author that I was going to be seeing at the book festival. It was Annie Bot by Sierra Greer, and this book is something. It is truly something. I will give you more of an update about that book when I have more energy to talk about it, but yeah, that's like literally all the reading I did in the last 48 hours. So I definitely need to get back into it tomorrow, but I wanted to check in now because I wanted to have at least something to say about today. And this weekend was so much fun, but it was just very long and exhausting. So I am gonna shut up now and go cuddle with my cats in bed because I'm so tired. I am about to pass out. So I'll check in tomorrow and let you know how books are going and, you know, everything else. I'll probably do a quick overview of some of the books that I got this weekend and just let you know what's going on there. But for now, that's all, and I will check in with you tomorrow. So I did promise that I was going to do an update today. I waited until golden hour, so I'm going to try to be dodging the sunlight through the window right now. But I wanted to give you a quick rundown of the books that I got yesterday. I am going to be doing a very, very large book haul coming up here soon because I have so many books that I have not reported in on. But I want to do a quick haul of just the books from the book festival on Saturday. It was so much fun, and we got to meet so many really great authors. Some of them were so sweet, and we're just like purely excited to be meeting people. And it was just like a really, really fun time. So I was able to get a ton of books signed. I did pick up a couple of new ones, as well as bringing along a couple of books. Plus they had a Friends of the Library sale. So of course I picked up a couple books from that too. The first two books I'll talk about are the ones that I got super, super cheap. I think they were $4. The one was $4, one was $2. And it was from the Friends of the Library book sale. Super cheap books, just like tables upon tables of boxes of books. And the first one I got was Sea of Tranquility, Emily St. John Mandel. I have not read anything from this author, but I do have Station 11 on my shelf already. I just haven't gotten to it. So I figured I'd pick up this one, nice and cheap, and I do plan to read this at some point. I have no idea when. And the other book that I picked up was $2, and that was Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. I feel like I am really late to the game in getting to experience this book. When I took it up to the register to pay, the guy was like, a classic. And in my head, I was like, if you say so, my dude. I know nothing about this, but I very briefly looked it up when I was considering buying it, just to, you know, see if anybody I know had read it and liked it. And there were plenty of people who had read and liked it. And I am just really late to the game. So I picked this one up. At some point I will get to it, but I have no idea when that will be. The rest of the books here are ones that I got signed by the authors at the event. However, I am not considering this one a book haul because I already owned Happiness Falls by Angie Kim, but this is the second time that I got to see her at this event, and it was so cool. And getting to have her sign the book, she was super excited to see the Book of the Month copy because they obviously are selling copies of their books like at the event. But I was bringing my own along, so that was fun, and she wrote a little bit of a note to me. So that one is not like a haul because I already owned it, but it's fun because it got signed. The next one up is another one that I did technically already own, but I knew she was going to be at this event, so I was really excited to be able to bring my copy along. I had pre-ordered Happy Medium by Sarah Adler. I met Sarah Adler back in February at a book event where she was in conversation with another author, Lindsay Hammeroff, who wrote Till There Was You, that I really loved last year. They had a conversation together at a local bookstore, so I ended up meeting her there, but this book wasn't out yet. So I had already had it pre-ordered, and I was really excited knowing that she was going to be at the book festival, so I was able to get this book signed. And what's super cute about this one is it came with this little I Ain't Afraid of No Goats sticker. Please appreciate how cute that is. And then also this like postcard that is also super cute. And when she signed the title page, she even did this little ghosty doodle, and I just thought that was adorable. So absolutely a joy to meet her again and get to chat a little bit. So those are all the books that I brought with me because I already owned them or had already pre-ordered them. The rest of these I purchased specifically because I was going to this event to meet these authors. This one technically I did bring with me, but it's because I found out that she was going to be there. My sister gave this book 5 stars, and that gives me a lot of hope that I am going to like this book. I don't know anything about it. Fly With Me by Andy Burke. It is about an ER nurse who has to save someone's life on a plane, then misses her flight and ends up connecting with the co-pilot from the plane that she was on, and they end up developing some sort of relationship. I think there's fake dating going on in here. It sounds like it's going to be a wild time. So I picked this one up, got this one signed, and I'm super excited for that. I ended up picking up Baby X as well by Kira Pykoff. However, this author ended up not being able to make it to the festival. So I bought this book at the festival before realizing that I wouldn't be able to get it signed. It's still fine. I'm still really excited to read this because it sounds really interesting. Most of these books, I cannot tell you what they are actually going to be about, but that is pretty typical of me before I start reading a book anyway. I just have no idea what I'm getting into. But I think this one is AI related, sci-fi, and the author was supposed to be in conversation with another book about AI that I actually have already started reading. So yes, this one, I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but it sounds really good. Lexi and I both have Baby X, and we might be buddy reading that one. I'm not totally sure. The other AI sci-fi-y type book that I ended up picking up from this event is Annie Bot by Sierra Greer. This one I listened to the audiobook on the way to Lexi's house on Saturday morning, so I got about a third of the way through, and this book is so weird, but also weirdly good, and I was actually really enjoying it. So when I got to the event, I picked up the book. Yeah, this one is super thin, super quick read, but it is kind of wild. It's about a man who buys a robot girlfriend, cuddle buddy, and tries to model her into the perfect girlfriend, but she is slowly kind of developing more human type traits. He wants her to be human and realistic, but also wants her to be perfect and ideal, and he is going to learn that that's not exactly how life works. It is a wild time. There is robot sex. That is kind of the whole point of why he owns his robot in the first place. And yeah, it's just like a whole thing. The conversation at the event, because this author was there and was talking about, you know, the writing of the book and kind of the concepts that are talked about in here, and it's crazy, but I am so fascinated. It's so cool. But AI, robots, sci-fi. The last 2 books that I picked up from the event, You Know What You Did by Katie Nguyen. This book sounds so good, and the author was so sweet. She was actually probably one of my favorite people to meet for the first time here, because she was just so genuinely excited to be there and to meet people, and yeah, she was just having the best time, and that is infectious to the people who are experiencing it too. So this book was super fun, getting able to meet her quickly and get it signed, and yes, absolutely so good. I don't actually remember what this book is supposed to be about, but I think it is a thriller that is also about someone named Annie, and I thought that was really funny that multiple books that I was buying at the book festival were about characters named Annie or Anna. I don't know how I did that, but I did it. And finally, the last book that I ended up buying from this book event was A Step Past Darkness by Vera Kurian. This book also sounds really good. It is another thriller, and yeah, I'm here for it. Didn't actually anticipate buying this, but Lexi convinced me to buy this one and You Know What You Did, and actually Baby X too. So I can blame Lexi for even giving me the idea to buy some of these books. Was it my own fault for, you know, swiping my credit card and paying for the books and carrying them out of there? Yes. But Lexi enabled my book buying for this event. So I'm just throwing that out there. But anyway, this one and You Know What You Did, and possibly even Baby X, I think we are going to be trying to buddy read at some point, because we both have them and they're all signed from the authors, so that's super fun. That brings me to the end of the books that I took to the festival or brought back from the festival. It was a super crazy weekend, and I am utterly exhausted. Today has been rough. One, the work phones have not stopped ringing today. It has been insane. It's just been a very busy day. But also, two, I just feel like I am really behind on sleep. But tonight is birthday sprints for Lexi, because today is Lexi's birthday, and so I am gonna still be going for a couple more hours. We're gonna see how long I last. But I am currently reading Annie Bot, so this is what I'm going to be continuing tonight. I already gave you the update from when I was listening to the audio over the weekend, so I have this one to finish today, and then I am going to be continuing in 5 Broken Blades, which is going to definitely pick up for me because my library just got a new audio copy and I got it on Libby. It had been unavailable or like several months wait since the book came out, and I was hopeless. I had no way to get the audiobook for it, so I was reading with just my eyes and it was torture. And then over the weekend, I happened to check Libby and it was there. It was available. It said borrow and I said yes. So now I have the Five Broken Blades audio. It's gonna seriously help me get through that book because I did not make it very far. So I think I'm like 100 pages. Like I didn't make it very far, even though I read it over the course of like 3 or 4 days. So that is the update for now. And for what's upcoming for tonight during sprints, hopefully I will be finishing at least 1, maybe 2 books. I need to stay off Stardew Valley. It has been consuming my life and my brain for the last like week and a half to 2 weeks. So I'm going to try to get some good reading time in tonight. I also did finish the last Bunnicula book today because the collection, like the audio collection, was due back to Libby very, very shortly. So I finished the last book today. It was Bunnicula meets Edgar Allan Poe. Super cute, super fun about Edgar Allan Poe and the Raven, and yeah, it was a fun time, but I finally finished the Bunnicula collection, so now I'm just moving on to everything else. That is all. I'm gonna shut up now, go find some dinner before sprints tonight, and I'm really excited because I think I'm gonna break out my next Snack Squad sprint snack that I have not debuted yet. So we're gonna do that, and I will check in once I've made progress in some of these books. I accidentally just caused so much chaos on sprints. I have no regrets. We just did the spinning for the Game Masters to be attacking the teams for this week. And the Snack Squad gets off scot-free this time, which is fantastic. But I also accidentally got the Game Jesters some double and triple Game Master points. So yeah, they're gonna be hating me for a while, but it's fine. It was all fun. Also, I just finished reading Annie Bot, and this book was weird and not what I expected. I literally listened to the author talk about this book, and obviously spoiler free because it hasn't been out for that long, so most of the people at this event had not read the book. But I was about a third of the way, just over a third of the way, when I heard her talking about it. I feel like after hearing her talk about it and then finishing the book, it still was not in the direction that I thought it was going to go. Basically, I explained that it's about a man who buys a robot companion that is primarily a sex toy, and he tries to make her into the ideal girlfriend, the ideal woman. But in doing that, he is trying to make her more real, more human, because he feels the shame and regret of having to have this robot companion. And so he wants her to be more human, more real. And by having her develop those human qualities, she is becoming more and more imperfect. And so while this is primarily from Annie's perspective, it's third person, but we are inside Annie's mind. Like, we're seeing everything that she's experiencing. And it is just such a deep dive into the way that men's opinions and perceptions of women and what they can or can't or should or shouldn't do, and how that impacts Annie as a robot AI who is trying to learn and adapt as she goes. It is a super, super interesting concept, and I think it was done really well. Like, the book was good. I think I'm giving it 4 stars. Like, I'm not crazy about it, and it wasn't as exciting. Like, there wasn't as much happening as I thought there was going to be. It was this more, like, cozy, almost, like, domestic vibe. I want to take that back. It's not cozy, because the things that happen are, like, it's a lot of not great things that are happening here, but it's more of a domestic vibe than, like, an exciting AI, I don't know. Like, I feel like AI stories that I've read before have taken a much different tone than this one did. but I still like where it went, and I like the way that it explored the female mind, the male mind, and what that looks like in this kind of AI technology world. And yeah, the ending was something. I mean, I think I like the ending, but also it's just kind of, a lot of it felt very predictable, but I don't think it was supposed to be unpredictable. So, like, I think the book did exactly what it was trying to do. So I feel a little bit conflicted because it wasn't like crazy, like mind blowing in like plot wise, like plot twisty. It was more predictable in that way, but at the same time, I was having a really good time reading it. And like the actual humanity and like human imperfection and those dynamics were like so interesting. A lot of this book was a deep dive into relationships, and is a therapist named Monica in this book. And I don't read my name in books very often, so that was like kind of weird, kind of fun. And she has like a lot to say on the matter of like how people interact and what the relationship dynamic can and should be, and it was just very interesting. So, yeah. I feel like I have a lot of thoughts. Also, I don't have the capacity to fully process those thoughts, but that's where I'm at for this. So I wrapped up Annibot, and now I am going to jump into Five Broken Blades. I am getting my audiobook set up so that I can jump in where I left off with the physical. I mean, I'm going to do both, but I didn't have the audio until now, so we're going to jump into that. Sprints are still going, and yeah, it's a good night, so let's get to it. I don't have any update on reading yet because I haven't really made much progress since my last check-in, but it is Tuesday, and I really do want to make some more progress in Five Broken Blades by the end of today. But the update that's important right now is that last week's vlog included a mini tutorial on how to make my favorite summer refreshing beverage with the orange juice, lemonade, and sparkling water. And this week's update is that for the first time, I decided to try making popsicles out of that summer drink, and it worked. I made my popsicles last night, and I have this little like silicone popsicle set, and can confirm it's delicious. I have a very unfortunate update that I need to make. I have DNF'd Five Broken Blades at 33%. This is heartbreaking because this book is really pretty, but I simply can't do it. Also, peep my Pango books back there. I just redid my shelves a little bit to fit in a great large haul of books, and that is, I cleaned out one of the shelves that had all the Pango books that are not selling, so I'm probably gonna get rid of them some other way, Little Free Libraries or something like that. But yeah, Five Broken Blades was rough. I was not invested in the story that much. The plot sounded super interesting, and the potential based on like all the different characters being hired to like work together to like kill the king, super cool. However, a couple things that are working against us here. First of all, the chapters are so short, which is good. I like short chapters, but the chapters were so short that I felt like I was getting absolutely no connection to any of the characters before we jumped into like the other stories, into like the other characters and like where they are. There were two scenes in the entire first 150 pages that like were good in my opinion, and they were like exciting. One, they're getting attacked by a bird, and two, they're getting attacked by pirates. That's it. Those are the only two things that stood out to me in the first 150 pages. I still don't actually know who like half of the other characters are. Like, I just don't know what's going on. But all of that is not even the worst part about this book. Well, okay. That's why the book is getting DNF'd. Because I could look past a lot of other things, but like the book itself, I just don't want to finish. However, I just got the audiobook from Libby. And when I tell you the audiobook actually made the experience worse, I'm not exaggerating. This is probably the worst audiobook I've ever listened to in my life. This audio, it feels like they went out onto the street and said, "Do you want to read an audiobook?" Like, that's literally what it feels like. I think some of the narrators, the male narrators at least, I think they were trying to eat the microphone. I swear they were literally talking with a microphone in their mouth. It was so garbled. It was like staticky. And they also talk with so many pauses. Like, it is unbelievable how slow the reading is. I have it at 3 times speed, and still I think my eyes are reading twice as fast. Like, it was horrendous, and the pauses were so dramatic at 3 times speed, mind you. The pauses were so dramatic. Sometimes it would be so long that I was like, oh, I guess the chapter's over. Like, no, it's not. That's just the sentence. It was so bad. Literally, the audio made me want to pull all of my hair out. Like, I can't. It was so bad. The voices were also not great. The one male narrator sounds like he's whispering the whole time, as well as sounding like he's eating the microphone. And the female narrator, at least the one that I was just listening to last, she sounds so young. It like is so uncomfortable to be like listening to this romance, or like what I know is going to become a romance inevitably. And I'm like, she sounds like a child. It's uncomfortable. I don't like it. This book is not working. So at 33%, I am done. I put it down, and it's going to be going on to my Pango. So it's going to actually join that stack back there because I'm getting rid of it. It's pretty, but not pretty enough. Sorry. This also brings me to the end of this week because it's Tuesday, and I don't think I'm going to pick up another book this evening. I feel like Five Broken Blades truly burned me out a bit today. So I'm probably done reading for this week, but it's fine. It's fine. I finished what, like 2 books? Maybe. Again, we are on the second half of the month now. Escape is going strong. The Snack Squad, we are going strong. We are just making our way through this carnival. It is so much fun, and I really love getting to lead, getting to participate in Escape. It's just great. Lexi does an incredible job. If you are not subscribed to Lexi or any of the other co-hosts for Escape the Readathon, make sure that you're doing that. If you like this video and you want to see more from me, please hit that subscribe button so that you can follow along with all of my future videos as well. I will have at least one more Escape vlog coming for the final week and a half. So make sure that you look out for that. And that's pretty much everything. Thanks for watching this video. Let me know what you thought about the books that I've read. If you've read them or DNF'd them too, please let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. But with all that said, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that I'll see you in the next one. Bye!